but the pippin, the what, but the got to be tripping me. Alright, so check this out. We're gonna do free for all. No, which one calling on side? We're gonna sit there. Which ones we're gonna use? Alright. Let's see what pops out and see if we get a topic. Okay, the first topic is gee whiz. Something about a group of people who wanted to have power over you. Okay, that's gonna be the topic. Somebody wanted to have power over you. So I would assume they would use to have power over somebody else. You would have to do something that would be able to bend their will in some way, shape, or form. So one, I would say the most commonly used way to have power over somebody would be money. The second, it would be coitus. Third, information. Somebody with money who can also use sex and who also can use information against other people wants to do that to you because you must be having something, right? Ooh, they see that it came out in reverse. They wanted you to have an ending. So whoever this group of people who wanted to have power over your life, even against your free will, is what's going. So we draw 4. Let me split it because I reshuffled it so I can take one here, and then I'm going to try to take 2 from here. So I'll take one. Let me get another blue. Come on, let me get another blue. Bam. I know they were, how does he do that? It's like Stretch Armstrong. He's been doing this since he was a kid. Again, see? These people were planning against you to cause you an ending. I would say in 8 different ways. They say, and there's a 1,000 crazy ways to freaking die. Yo, they over here thinking of different ways to get rid of you. Look. To put you in a Tenosaurus, which would be what? Some form of imprisonment. So usually some form of imprisonment would be the mind, because what? Usually you cannot separate yourself, what? From your mind. You would have to have a lot of self-control, patience, and temperance to be able to do what? To not care if they have money. Right? To not care if they look good, to try to tempt you in some weird form of seduction. And 3, to have yourself clean and make amends with your past, your demons, and the things that you went through that nobody, no matter what they say against what happened in the past, could hold you down to keep your mind in prison so that they can have power over you. This is what you got going on. See, they worked as a team to do it. Can't make it up. Whoever this people are who wanted power over you, they're the Judas in your life. Which means what? They would trade you for 30 pieces of silver. The same spirit. I won't say as Judas, but the same thing happened to Judas. What is the biggest difference? We tell people this all the time. Here, let's go over it in case you never even read a Bible before, right? Check this out. So I'll go into Matthew. If I can find it. I believe it's in 27. And then I'll start at verse 4. So Matthew 27, verse 4. And this is Judas saying this. This is why I like, if they say, if you was the willing to have dinner, with anybody, I already said one, I would want to sit with Judas. I'll give you my reasons after I read this. Check this out. Verse 4. Saying, I have sinned. I have betrayed the innocent blood. Who? Jesus. In this case, you. I betrayed this innocent person. And they said, what is that to us? See to that yourself. So then, this lets you know, no matter what, it's been in the history that I've seen, any movie, any novel, anything. If you was on the good side, so to speak, right? And you betrayed the good side to go to the bad side, right? The bad side is not going to keep you on the roster. They're going to get rid of you because you're a fucking liability. In this case, something different happened to Judas. What happened to Judas? Verse 3. Then Judas, which had betrayed him, meaning Christ, right? When he saw he was condemned repented of himself and brought again the 30 pieces of silver back to the people who gave it to him. These people in your situation, they already spent the money. There's nothing to return. They've already lied, spent the money. They already partied like the days of Noah. They were partying, having feasts. They were getting drunk. They were getting high. They already went through all of this. They already spent the collateral damage that was your life. Verse 5, and he cast down the pieces of silver in the temple and departed and went and hung himself. So why would I say I would sit with Judas? Why? Because I got questions. And it would have to deal with things of spiritual nature, because it says in scripture that Judas allowed Satan to enter into him. There's a bunch of people here in 2026, at least 80% of the human population on this planet has something in them that they should not have. And a lot of them wear it proficiently. I don't want to say well. They're proficient at holding up a mask and covering up who they really are. But in this case, I would ask you what actually happened. Because I know this. I understand, in a sense, why he took himself out. You imagine still being alive knowing that everybody in the world knows that you betrayed Christ, an innocent person. You mean you're the one who got him beat, who got him flogged, who got him stabbed, who got him beat, who got him spit on, who got him beat, who got him tortured, who got him beat to walk him to the freaking stake, and then you staked him? Imagine trying to be that person. Most people cannot deal with what? Such a humiliation in their life. Not a lot of people can handle it. They buckle under. Because look, betraying a kind person. In this situation, like we said, there's a group of people who worked against you, who wanted to have power over you, who made plans and preparations in your life to cause you a dead ending, and you were nothing but kind to these people. Whoever you are watching this, like I said, I don't know what's the topic is. And the first thing they wanted you to do was to be trapped in your own mind. I guarantee you one of the plannings and the preparation of having you trapped in your own mind would have been for you to take your own life. And they made sure they worked as a team. Very, very calculated teamwork. Like I said, they were partying, having fun, laughing about this thing that they were going to do to you. They celebrated. They all agreed. You know who else did that? It happened to Paul in what? Acts 23, right? I don't remember. We just said Acts 23, right? I think it's Acts 23. Yeah. Check it out. I think this is it. This should be it right here. Sometime after God came to Paul, said, you're going to go here, such and such. Here it is, Acts 23, verse 13. And they were more than 40 people. Let's just say, for instance, you got 40 people and one person who's the head of nigga in charge, right? Were more than 40, which had this what? Conspiracy, plans and preparations. Somebody who's watching this is going through some weird Paul shit right now. Where you had a group of people who wanted to get rid of you to cause you an ending in your life. And I guarantee you, you were nothing but kind to this person, and the simple fact of what light was in you. Because this did come out in reverse. That these people in this situation, these would have been the same type of people. No different than what happened to Judas. These group of people allowed something to enter into themselves because their lifestyle to come up against you to cause you a dead ending. No different than when he took the 30 pieces of silver. This group of 40 people in Acts 23 did the same thing to Paul. For money. Material wealth. I don't care. Promises. Land. Fame. Shit, they could have did it just for coitus. But they did it. Whoever you are, You are going through an Acts 23 type of moment. If you never read the Bible, if anything, if you're going through this, try to read it in Acts for understanding. Because at the end of this conspiracy with these groups of people, God saved Paul by putting Paul into protective custody. This is the one time in the Bible where I could see that protective custody was way back when then too. As King Solomon said, there's nothing new under the sun. Well, here it is in Acts 23. This man had to be put in protective custody. And it wasn't just no one cop this dude got. Check this out. Where down the line? Here we go. But then I did here, but then wait for the bam. So here we are. I'll start in verse 22 and still Acts 23. So the chief captain let the young man depart. This was the person who helped Paul. And charged him, see that you tell nobody what I'm showing you. Next verse. And he called unto 2 centurions, the chief guy. He actually had to be a righteous person who was on the up and up, who was on the proper. He don't take no bribes. He ain't messing with prostitutes. And sure to hell, he didn't have anything going on in his life to be compromised through blackmail. Remember, we talk about 3 things to get you have somebody have power over you. Money, sex, and blackmail. Information. This man didn't have any of that. So this is what he does. He called onto him 2 people who were like-minded as he was. So he had companions who were like-minded as he was. And this is what he said. Make ready 200 soldiers to go. And horsemen. Make that 70 70 horsemen. And spearmen, make that 200. And can you get it done by the 3rd hour of the night? They said, bet. By morning time, cause and effect, Paul was put into protective custody. Is what we will call it in 2026. This man got put in protective custody. And then he was taken to Rome, just like God promised him way back up here in verse 11. And the night following, the Lord stood by him. Who? Paul. God came himself to come and talk to Paul. And he said this, be of good cheer. Don't worry about it. I got you. For thou hast testified of me in Jerusalem, so must thou bear witness at Rome. Meaning, you got to go to Rome for me. By then, those guys, the 40 men who made a conspiracy against him, wasn't trying to let him go to Rome. Until what? Somebody who saw and heard what was going on, cause and effect. Which means somebody overheard what? The plans and the preparations about this group who wanted it to be empowered in your life. And then he did what? He went to the actual righteous cops who don't take bribes, who's not getting head in the car. And sure to hell, they wasn't compromising their job so that they can lose it based off of somebody using information against them. Ta-da! Same thing right here in Acts 23. The only thing Paul really had to do was what? Be of good cheer. I remember there's scriptures where here it said some of these guys got beat and flogged, right? And they get up and they were walking happy. It said they counted it as good to do what? To be persecuted. So there's a lot of people out there talking about such and such. Where's your persecution? Because I know this, persecution is part of the requirements. If they hated me, know that if they hate you, know that they hated me before you. Guarantee you, boy, there's a lot of people out there hating. A lot. And these are the same people that want to have the things that you have, but they don't want to go through the persecution. So again, whoever you are in this energy, I don't like using the word assume, but we're going to assume that you got a message, you got a sign, you got a dream, you got a vision, you got an inkling, you got intuition that got you to understand that, look, I got you, meaning God got you, protecting you. Be of good cheer. Don't let your Don't let your worries take you over. Don't let fear consume your body. Why? Because then it does something to you. Don't be worried that one, that you're in jail. Two, that there's 40 dudes outside your jail cell ready to fucking kill you. Don't worry about it. I got you. Just be a good cheer and we're going to get it. Right there. One ring to bind them. Now remember, this group of people, whoever they are demonic in nature. 3831. What's 3831 say? I don't know. I guess we're going to have to go about do it this way. 3831. When we say 3831, 3831. Let's just see what it says if it's gonna give us something. It says it's a powerful combination of creativity, abundance, and independence. And this message to trust your inner wisdom and take proactive steps towards your goals. To me, that sounds like be of good cheer all over again, just in a different way. As your positive thoughts, because if you're being of good cheer, your thoughts are not going to be consumed with worry, doubt, or fear. And actions are currently aligning to manifest prosperity and new beginnings. Why? Because they wanted you to have an ending, but God's saying be of good cheer because we want to give you a new beginning. Whoever you are, congratulations. Maybe you needed somebody to tell you to be of good cheer, because guess what? I live in a world where you don't get to hear that shit very often. I would assume you're in the same thing. So this is why we're saying this to you now. If you watch this video, be of good cheer, especially if you're in this type of energy. Don't let your mind get taken over with doubt, fear, and worry. Whoever you are.